I noted that, and perhaps I'm wrong, the date on the bottom of the resolution for the date it was signed or adopted says June 7th. I think that'll have to be updated to today's date, but I could be wrong.
Resolution memorializing amended preliminary and final site plan approval to allow a change in antennas mounting heights. A wireless telecommunications facility upgrade consisting of the replacement of antennas, mount, cabling, along with related equipment replacement. This one as well was the draft was submitted earlier this week. Let's kind of go through who's on the
official for Clinton Township.
Okay.
There is BAV. Could this person please identify themselves? It appears they're calling.
And as the chairman indicated, I'm here tonight on behalf of Clinton LIHTC Urban Renewal LLC, which is a successor in interest to Pearl Developers LLC, which is the designated developer of the property. We are here tonight for amended preliminary and final site plan and subdivision approval, as well as we are seeking one variance related to the setback for the tot lot area, as well as a waiver from tree removal residential housing development, which consists of 7 buildings as well as parking. There's a total of 84 low and moderate income housing units proposed, including a tot lot, a community garden, and lawn areas. When we were last before you in connection with this application, we required relief, which has now been eliminated from the application. For the sake of the record, I will just quickly touch on the relief that we no longer require as part of the application. We had required relief from ordinance section 165-148.4G, as in good, to permit setbacks from other property lines where a setback requirement of 50 feet was imposed. Those setback requirements, those setback variances did a setback variance for building A, where 15.7 feet had been proposed from a side lot line and 16.3 feet had been proposed from a front lot line. Building B, as in boy, where 15.7 feet was required from a side lot line. Building C, where 14 feet was required from a side lot line and 14.8 feet was required from a rear lot line. Building D, where 14.8 feet was required from a rear lot line. Building F, where 16.6 feet was required from a front lot line. And building G, where 15.1 feet was proposed from a front lot. 165-98.E, which is to permit a sign with an area of approximately 50 square feet, including the base, with a setback of 20 feet. The ordinance permits a sign area of 24 square feet. The proposed square footage of the sign has not changed from what was previously approved at preliminary. And you'll hear more testimony that we have added language related to the town itself, which had been a condition of that variance when it was granted. Also are requesting a de minimis exception from the residential site improvement standards with regard to the number of parking spaces being proposed. 153 spaces are proposed and 168 spaces are required under the residential site improvement standard.
So we're looking at right now the off-site utility main extension plan, which is sheet 7 of the site plan set, and we have it marked as exhibit A1. Development is located on block 82, lot 4.03, containing 40.769 acres with frontage on Route 31 South. So as you see there, as part of the project, we're going to disturb 0.4 acres of forest area within our proposed development area lot. And 0.12 acres falls within the New Jersey Highlands Council forest area. And 0.15 acres of that is on the southwest corner of the property. 0.1 acres of that is on the northwest corner of the property. and 0.15 acres is along the near building A, along the tree line that's along the front of the property. In detail where that sign is. From Route 31 to the proposed park entrance, and it's about 245 feet as a boulevard from Route 31, the edge of Route 31 pavement, to that park entry drive. There's two 20-foot traveled ways and a 10-foot center island, and it tapers to a 24-foot access drive leading into the proposed development. And it's because the play structure is, the surface of the top lot is 21.6 feet from the property line, whereas that's for the mulch cover. That's not for the entire play equipment. That's just the ground cover in that area is 21.6 feet from the property line, where 30 feet is required, versus the top lot equipment, the actual playground equipment, which is approximately 36 feet. It's beyond 30-foot setback requirement.
And I'm just going to, oh, sorry, Greg, let me just touch on that one before you move on. So that is dated July 6th, 2021, received from Mott McDonald. And I think there's, what we'll say on the record, first of all, is with the exception of comment C1, C3, the applicant is able to represent that it will comply with all of the requirements of this memorandum. Is that correct, Mr. Domilewski?
That's correct. In the project, there's a depression in front of the dumpster enclosure pad, and there actually is access provided to that basin on the south side of the community garden there between building E and the community garden, where somebody can enter with maintenance vehicles, bobcat, whatever, mowing equipment, and get into the basin through that way.
Of the memorandum, their electronic vehicle charging stations will be provided.
Correct, and we were not proposed to include any electric vehicle charging at this time.
And the other sort of half of that comment was, is a bus service going to be provided? Public bus service, that is.
Well, there's the proposed bus stop at the south end of our entrance drive. As long as the board approves it, then it will be provided a bus stop there. We are disturbing 0.4 acres of forest area within our proposed development lot, and 0.12 acres of that is within the Highlands Forest area.
Ornate planting around the sign, which is at the entrance from Route 31. This shows the overall context of the site. If you go to the next exhibit, A3, this takes you closer in on the development, the residential development with storm water basin in the top right, community garden along the right of the page, some sitting areas, community building with the amenity space, an open lawn, and the tot lot. So the site has been planted with native plant species. Diverse indigenous plantings include pollinator plants and plants that will provide habitat. Those native plants include shade trees, evergreens, ornamental trees, deciduous and evergreen shrubs, perennials, and ornamental grasses. We don't have to do any of that with the halo lighting. Project sign will be landscaped with ornate plant material to make it a feature and really kind of ground it to the site.
All right, so we have 7 multifamily buildings. There are 84 units. The breakdown is consistent with the UHAC Section 42 of the Internal Revenue Code. 16 one-bedroom units, 47 two-bedroom units, 21 three-bedroom units. The materials for the exterior cladding of the building are previously. The biggest change is that we, instead of the brick base to the buildings, we are now using a cast stone veneer. We are using a lap siding material in a palette of colors that's consistent across the buildings. And we feel that those materials are consistent with the agricultural heritage of the community.
Times 2 is 544 inches required. We have 303 inches planted.
Thank you.
Just to recap what we're all here for, it's amended preliminary and final major site plan and subdivision approval that we're looking for. We are carrying over relief that was previously granted as part of the preliminary site plan application with regard to the size of the sign. It's going to be a total of 50 square feet, inclusive of the decorative base, where a size of 24 square feet is permitted. We're also carrying forward the de minimis exception from the residential site improvement standards to permit 153 parking spaces where 168 are required. Our new relief is with regard to a variance to permit the mulch tot lot surface to encroach within the setback 21.6, so it'll be 21.6. Again, it will be set back 21.6 feet from the rear property line where 30 feet is required, and then a waiver from the tree removal ordinance requirements with respect to the caliper of trees that are being provided, although not the number of trees being provided as we just covered. And thank you all very much. We truly